This is where United lose the ball. Semenyo receives it. Haven is the only defender ahead of him. Mason Mount is asking Haven to close Semenyo down. But instead of closing him down, Haven decides to go away from the ball. This opens up the space. Semenyo scores the goal. And this keeps happening again and again. In this one, Tielemans puts the cross in. Aiden Heaven is ahead of Watkins, but Watkins somehow gets across him. The ball drops to Morgan Rogers, who is under no pressure. No one puts any challenge, and a simple goal for Villa. These aren't just individual mistakes, this is actually a pattern. See, United want to dominate the ball, they want to put in numbers into the attack. In this system, United doesn't only struggle in the defending part, they struggle the moment they don't have the ball. And that's the problem. All the control doesn't mean anything if the second you lose the ball, you lose the control of the game. The fact is, any opposition just loves to play against United. I mean, look at Bournemouth's form before they faced United. They had scored 4 goals in the previous 5 matches before they came to Old Trafford. But against United, they scored 4 goals in a single game. Wolves, who are sitting in 20th place in the table, who were on a streak of losing, managed to get away a point against United. That's not a coincidence. That's actually a defense that is so fragile that the confidence returns the moment teams face United. When the teams that could not score goals, when the teams that could not win a single match start to look dangerous against you, the form is not a problem. The problem lies within the structure. But against Newcastle, we saw a different Manchester United. A version that prioritized the result over performance. United didn't chase control, they chased the game. And we saw a different structure, the structure every United fan wanted to see. A 4-2-3-1 formation with a back line of 4. In this system, United finally looked disciplined in the back. If this was the version United committed to, the future looked bright. But it didn't last. Against Wolves, a team which is 20th in the league table, Ruben Amorim straight away went back to 3-4-3 and the same problems returned. And this is where the story gets deeper, because this stubbornness isn't something new when it comes to Amorim. We saw it in the last season, we saw it in the most important match of the last season, and that's the Europa League final against Tottenham. United were 15th in the league table. They were out of all domestic competitions. So this wasn't just a final for Manchester United. This was United's ticket back to Champions League football. A chance to attract better players, a chance to compete in the market against the likes of City, Liverpool and Arsenal. But even in the 86th minute of the game, Ruben Amorim didn't change his initial tactics. 3 centre-backs were still holding the back line. The same build-up, the same structure. Even in the final minutes of the game, we saw absolutely no urgency from Manchester United or Ruben Amorim. No risk, no desperation. And when the final whistle went down, United lost more than just a final. They lost Champions League football, they lost their leverage in the transfer market, they lost the momentum, and with it, the hope for the next season disappeared. But United is not a small club. Despite of missing out on any European competition, United managed to pull some great players. Konya, Mbeumo, Shesko and Lamens. Players who actually looked like a statement. The players who made you believe that maybe, just maybe, United were still moving into the right direction. After the transfer market, there was a genuine hope. Maybe this is the season to look forward to. And then the season began with an opener against the mighty Arsenal, against one of the strongest opponents in the league. In the match, United did not look out of place. They pressed well, they competed, they created chances. But when the whistle blew, the scoreline was the same old story. A 1-0 defeat. Now this wasn't a disaster, but it was a warning sign. A reminder that potential alone is not going to win you the games. And that's exactly how the season started, with a promising match but poor execution. Week after week, United's performances just fell short. Close but not convincing enough. Moments of attacking quality which was undone by defensive mistakes and structural errors. By the end of September, after 6 league games, United were 14th in the league. 14th place. It was like the last season never even ended. And suddenly, all the hope from the August just disappeared. And the question came back once again. is Ruben Amorim still fit for this job? What was supposed to be a fresh start had quietly turned into another season where United were already chasing stability instead of being aggressive. From the start of October, United won 3 Premier League matches against tough opponents. The attack began to produce consistently, and United started controlling the matches through chance creation rather than individual brilliances. In the games around that time, the performances told a clear story. Even in the draws against Nottingham Forest and West Ham, United were simply better side. They created more chances, they had higher XG, and throughout the entire game, they had more domination. They simply dominated both of these games, but they were not able to get the 3 points. This was also the time in which United's attacking numbers were amongst the top teams in the Premier League. Before the game against Aston Villa, United were the second highest scoring side in the entire Premier League. Now that gave a necessary hope to all the fans and a reason to trust Ruben Amorim. But in the next 4 games, United fans went through a roller coaster of emotions. The first half against Bournemouth was some of the best attacking football that United had played in years. Bournemouth's defenders were pushed back in their own half. They were absolutely pinned there, and a wave of United's attack came one after another. United pressed well, they created a lot of chances, and they scored goals as well. In this match, we saw what was missing from the last season. The front 3 working perfectly with the wing backs. And yet by the end of the match, it was a 4-4 scoreline. A thriller of a game instead of something that should be a definite United win. The goals that United conceded erased what could have been a dominant win and a confidence booster for Manchester United. And those goals told a deeper story than a simple draw. It was that every time United lost the ball, every transition felt dangerous. Against Bournemouth, the possession didn't protect United. It actually exposed them. Still, that game marked a high point in this season for Manchester United. United had scored 4 goals, and that match reinforced an idea that something significant was happening in the attack. But the circumstances changed quickly. AFCON took away key players from United. Amad Diallo and Brian Mbeumo, who have been outstanding for United, went for their national duties during crucial time of the season. In the next match against Villa, even Bruno Fernandes got injured. The squad, which was already depleted, got even thinner. Against Villa, United played well. They dominated the entire game, but in the brief moments where Villa dominated the game, they were able to score 2 goals. 2 goals that came from absolutely nothing. It was the same old story. Small opportunities turned into big chances. Again, the control vanished the moment they lost the ball. But something else also happened in these 2 games, which was quite subtle yet important. In moments, United began to shift the shape. There were glimpses of a 4-2-3-1 structure emerging within Amorim's system. The next match was against Newcastle. And finally, United started the game with a 4-2-3-1 structure, with the back 4 holding the defense line. In this game, Patrick Dorgu played as a true wide winger on the right side, not a fullback, not a wing back. Against league's most physical and aggressive attacking side, United went in with a different structure. They pressed high right from the start. Again, in the first half, we saw a brilliant attacking display. But after taking the lead, the approach to the game completely shifted. United dropped to a low block. They defended the crosses, they defended wide 1v1s, and they defended the box against the physical players like Voltemada and Wissa. United won this game by 1-0. It wasn't a convincing performance, but it was something which was absolutely necessary. This was the first 1-0 victory in a long time where United were able to defend a single goal lead with a great defensive display. And that's why this result mattered. And in that brief moment, this structure looked like it was reliable. Everyone was talking about United's victory. The new structure, the new formation that emerged from this match. But the optimism, however, didn't last. Against Wolves, a team which is sitting at the absolute bottom of the league table, Amorim straight away went back to a 3-4-3 structure. Not only a 3-4-3 structure, a defensive 3-4-3 structure. From the first minute, United gave up the shape which gave them the result against Newcastle. Patrick Dorgu, who had been outstanding on the right wing, was playing as a left wing back. Wolves, a side who have been struggling to put in any kind of respectable performance for a long period of time, walked straight through Manchester United's defense. They played promising football for the first time in months. On the scoreboard, it was merely a draw, but it had a deeper context. United, who were coming from a great win against Newcastle, a game where a newly talked about structure was working, a game that was being discussed as a turning point for United this season. Instead of building on that, United went straight backwards. Players who were thriving in specific positions were asked to do the exact opposite, and with that, the same problems returned. Disorganization without the ball and constant threat on the defensive line. This was also a match day where Chelsea had dropped points. This was an opportunity for United to climb up that table. But again, this opportunity was just wasted. The entire situation has a broader context, which is not just about the performances, which is not even about Manchester United's defense. It is about simple lack of adaptability by the manager. When a system works and it is abandoned the very next match, the questions need to be asked. The 4-2-3-1 formation wasn't revolutionary, it was just a response that worked really well for United. But throwing it away in the very next match, that raises a lot of concerns. And this concern is not whether United can improve or not. It is more about when the improvement appears, can it actually be trusted? Because the fear amongst United fans isn't about rebuilding, it's about repeating the same patterns, the same mistakes again and again and again. The same stubbornness, the same moments when the opportunity presents itself and it is allowed to slip away like they are winning every match every week. That's the real question around Ruben Amorim. Not whether his ideas are enough or not, but whether he is willing to let the right ones stay.